Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to your second part of this EG doubleheader for Beyond the Summits World Tour. I am LD, and joining me is godz. We're casting EG versus LGD, and godz, both of these teams 2-0 in the group, and frankly, both look very convincing in their wins. Darer and Tongfu, meanwhile, 0-2, and whoever loses that match out of those two will be knocked out. So, two games with big implications for seeding as well as advancement, and, well, what do we expect to see from both of these teams?
Well, we've got a great clash of East meets West, and one of the best teams coming out of the East, LGD. They've just come off a Grand Finals loss to Zenith, but they do have the win back in the Gigabyte Dota Masters, so we'll see what they can come up with here up against EG. EG, who've had some decent, strong recent results and a very, very capable American/European team.
Yeah, I mean, EG has really been favoring the Tinker, the Morphling, these very powerful, big damage dealers type semi-carries. But last game we saw something a little different from them. They went for the Undying, they went for the Tidehunter, the Venomancer, big team fight, and just sort of a, we're going to win our lanes, we're going to dominate those lanes, and now we're just going to send a death ball down mid. Tongfu just wasn't ready for it. Tongfu picked lineups that were great for them in those International 2 East qualifiers, but EG had all the answers. I love this ban by LGD, getting rid of the Tinker, showing Bulba his respect. And I mean, it's not just Bulba's Tinker. It's Tinker in general, who's been very aggravating for a lot of teams to deal with as of late. So I really do like this ban.
Yeah, and we'll have to see if they get rid of the Rubik, which Demon played both of those games you just casted. I think LGD even made a comment about that in the chat. They're going to leave it in the pool, so EG may go for that as their first pick. They banned the Lycan, and I think they felt that it needed to be banned out, but Prophet as well in the pool, so I feel it's going to be a bit of a trade-off. If EG want to take the Rubik, they need to take it now, otherwise LGD will get it, but if they take it, they're leaving LGD Prophet as well as one other strong hero, something like the little Shrek still in the pool, so is the Chaos Knight. There's plenty of options for LGD. Yeah. Seen a lot of Chaos Knight, but he's been losing a bit from what I can recall. Both games, Tongfu using him as well as just in the past few days. Chaos Knight, he's been on a bit of a losing streak.
We gotta remember we see a Naga, but Chaos Knight is ultimately a melee carry who has no real mobility. He's got Reality Rift, that helps. He's got good base move speed, that helps. But there's no blink on this hero. There's no blink strike. There's no super long range spammable way to move around. There's no waveform. These sorts of really reliable mobility skills, and that is one of the downsides. So EG get a Naga here, and well, for LGD, you mentioned a few of their good heroes. Morphling is in the pool, and Sylar has just been dominant on that. And godz, I don't know if you actually caught that Tongfu versus EG game number 2, but it was Hao playing the Morphling. He opted for an Ethereal Blade, and I mean, every time we see LGD run the Morphling, it's Sylar with a really fast BKB, just getting in the thick of things. This might not be the best game for one up against Naga, but we'll have to see. It's certainly an option on the board for LGD if they want to go that route.
Yeah, absolutely. And Naga Siren is such a great setup here for EG to pick up here. They can go so many different ways here. I mean, they can play it in that sort of carry-ish role, but it's great initiator. They can tank up on him. You can just go, I mean, Chinese teams have just gone straight for the heart, or they've gone for the Radiance build as well. LGD, though, they respond. Leshrac, Prophet, there's your duo. They do leave Rubik for EG, so EG still can pick that one up. But I think they're not too worried about Rubik all in all. I mean, it's some decent spells on the board for him to steal, but I think they feel they've got a strong enough pushing power, a strong enough mid game that they can deal with it regardless of what EG get with these two picks here.
Well, there's your wombo combo. It's the Enigma, and then also the Rubik to not only to be a strong pick, but also to protect that Enigma. And I do like that combination. EG going heavy on the team fight here, so that mid game powerhouse style. I mean, Naga does scale into the late game. Enigma pretty decent there as well. No hard carry for them. A lot of nukes. Not the best pushing either, but what they do have in spades is crowd control, team fight, and just that ability to lock heroes down and try and pick them off. For LGD, they get their hands on Prophet, and the last time we saw Xiaowei play Prophet, he was out of this world. I want to say, what was it, a 4 or 5 minute Midas? No, you know what he did? He went for the mech, then he went back for the Midas, and he had both by under 10 minutes. I believe that was how he built him. His Prophet was just everywhere on the map. We'll have to see if he's the one who plays it, but if he does, I mean, they're going to have to look out. I also do want to point out, I love the fact Invoker's ban here. I believe that is also an respect ban towards Yao, but they get Tidehunter, and I think this is important not only to get the Tide for your own team, but to deny it to EG. We've seen before Naga plus Tide equals problems for the enemy team.
Yeah, that would give them the true big wombo. I mean, they've already got Black Hole.
godz, you're having some audio issues there. Anything you could do to fix that?
Yeah, one second.
Just a little scratchy is all. As we see, a Disruptor and Venomancer get banned out, so interesting to see this Disruptor ban. It's out of the new heroes, it's probably the one that's seen the least play. I mean, even Undyne's getting picked more than Disruptor, and Undyne is not exactly top pick himself. And we'll just have to see where LGD want to go from here. I mean, they've got their Leshrac, they've got their Prophet. If they want something to combo up with Leshrac, of course, Shadow Demon's on the board, that's an option. Like I mentioned before, Sylar's Morphling is available. If that gets banned, I mean, there's still other semi-carries, things like DK, things like Anti-Mage. Well, that would be a hard carry, but he's still in the pool. I mean, Sylar's got his options for what he's going to play. And we'll just have to see.
How are we sounding now, LD?
A little bit better? Yeah, you still sound a little muffled, but not as much feedback, I would say.
All right, hopefully it improves throughout the cast. But I mean, for me, LGD, they've got plenty of options here with this. They can go for that hard carry morphling if they want Sylar playing it. The Chaos Knight's still in the pool as well, but I think they've sort of realizing that it hasn't had all that much success lately, but they can combo it with this Leshrac if they are still feeling it as a 4th or 5th pick. And I like this Lone Druid ban by EG. That's a hero that Sylar does play very, very well. It's probably one of his trademark heroes of sorts, and we'll see what he's going to be playing instead. Antimage's still a possibility, I feel. That's always a hero you have to sort of consider and mention as a potential 4th or 5th pick.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the Anti-Mage goes, though, EG have a lot of lockdown here. As mobile as Anti-Mage can be, I feel this is one of those few lineups, 3 picks in, they can already deal with them pretty well. Telekinesis, Malphus, Black Hole, the Naga Sleep, not so much the net. I'm counting 5 disables, and that's not including whatever Demon's able to steal. And we're only 3 picks into this draft for EG, so... I mean, you're right, Anti-Mage definitely, especially we've seen before, DK in particular love that combination. The Prophet, the Anti-Mage, split push all day, just drag the game out long enough for the Anti-Mage to get used, the Prophet to get up those utility items, and then you look to just carry and sort of win late game. But, I mean, we'll have to see if that's the route they want to go. They really do have their options. They have some team fight. They have a good amount of push, too, with the Leshrac the Prophet. Very open-ended draft for them. EG have made a bit more of a commitment here. They've already shown their hand as far as that big farmer goes with the Naga. They could go for another semi-carry, but they are very heavy into the team fight sort of basket here.
10 seconds remaining.
Yep, and I think we're going to be looking at some kind of solo mid hero for Bulba here. I mean, something, even like a Storm Spirit that he's somewhat known for, because it's going to be a Puck. So Puck, I mean, either a mid solo or the side lane solo. I imagine Rubik and Puck can be the 2 solos here. I mean, EG do tend to prefer to play the Rubik as a solo hero rather than the support role. I mean, you're going to be seeing probably maelk on the jungle Enigma with Fear playing the Naga Siren as a farmer with some kind of support here, but Puck has not seen a huge amount of play, but when it's been picked up, I mean, mostly it's been teams having decent success with him, so I like EG going for the Puck here.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, is he gives you a reasonably strong laner, very difficult to kill, especially for LGD, who, I mean, they've got the Split Earth, that can easily be dodged by Phase Shift. Gush is pretty much going to hit, but that's not really enough to lock him down, and, well, EG gods, they have tipped their hand fully, they don't even really hesitate here. They get the Shadow Demon for Universe. And I mean, the Puck a little unusual, but it gives them a great team fight. So many ways to initiate here. The Malefice, the Black Hole, the Telekinesis, the Sleep from the Naga, that's the big one. And if you get a Blink Dagger up on Puck, I mean, this team can chase quite effectively.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. And I mean, the initiation range coming out from a hero like Naga Siren is just so amazing. Enigma's not even going to have to worry about a Blink Dagger this game because of that. He's got such great setup coming from Puck and Naga Siren that he can just walk on in, maybe want to go for a BKB so it can't get cancelled, and then go just for the mech, the pipe, get those utility items up. We'll see how LGD deal with it. They've gone for a Shadow Shaman support we saw Tong Fu using. I mean, this looks fairly similar to some of the lineups Tong Fu ran with the Chaos Knight, the Shrek. You've got a Shadow Shaman support. The one big difference is this Tidehunter pick, and I like what it brings to the table, and I think it's something which LGD, if they use it right, can be sort of a difference maker and really tip the scales of these big fights and big clashes that we're going to see.
Yeah, having that Tide on the field is going to make a big difference, especially against a team that's got that Black Hole. A lot of squishies for EG. I mean, really, nobody on this team is naturally tanky. Naga has the high armor. You have Nullfield on Rubik. That can help. They are survivable in a sense, especially with that Puck and his elusive tendencies. But, I mean, a good Ravage, a good Prophet Ultimate, the burst damage from Leshrac. LGD have a lot of disables and some pretty good late game in their own right. And we're going to see illusions versus illusions here. Chaos Knight up against Naga. Gods, why don't we take a moment here, try and restart the Skype call. As,
no problem.
Big background noise in your end. Let's give it a try.
All right.
Hello, hello, hello.
All right, how are we looking? Any better?
Your voice is better a little bit, but there's still like that hissing. Ah, there you go. It's dying down now. And I think
My microphone setting just loves to amp itself up. It goes into super microphone boost, and then I set it down low, and it just goes right back up with a mind of its own.
It's trolling. It's trolling you, man.
If it keeps doing it, just let me know, and I can turn it back down. But normally,
it's much better now. By the way, it just like kicked into another gear or something. So I guess you fed it its Wheaties during the intermission.
I did. So just let me know if it happens again. But whenever I start talking, it just sort of bounces back up. It's got.
Oh, you just cut out.
Oh, okay, there we go. If it happens again, just let me know. It's got some auto adjust feature on which seems to have a mind of its own.
All right, we need a safe phrase or word here, so I can quickly tell you what are we gonna go with for that. I throw it to the chat, although they need a 2-minute delay before they can respond.
As long as there's nothing going on in the next 2 minutes, then we're gonna be good. 2-minute pause here, in typical Dota 2 fashion.
I mean, it wouldn't be a game of Dota if there wasn't that initial pause. Yeah. DDC... Bulba. By the way, for anyone who doesn't know, Bulba is a huge fanboy of Chinese Dota. I mean, every time he plays a match against them, he's always giving big shout-outs to his favorite player from the enemy team. And I just love the respect that he shows. You know, even though he hasn't really played that much against the Chinese. But it shows you that sort of diversity of the scene and the mixing of the different styles, and I just think it's great. Yeah, no, he really is a big follower of the Chinese scene. I think a lot of the American players are. It's something. I mean, the European players, they've seen sort of very not so much. They stick with themselves. They play with their own tournaments because the American scene didn't really start blossoming until Dota 2 came. During the Dota 1 era, they were often just following the Asian teams, specifically the Chinese scene. So I think they do have a lot of respect, and they also know a lot of the teams and know the players really well, which is somewhat different to some of the European teams. And here we go. Demon maybe trying his hand at some Mandarin or Cantonese. Whatever. I don't think it's something too polite, let's just say. I'm sure a few people in chat will translate that, but it's nothing too kind. Well, nonetheless, okay, so we have our draft, right? An LGD, pretty balanced lineup, some push, some team fight, some late game potential with the CK, the Shrek. As far as supports go, Shadow Shaman can be one of the very best with those double disables, not to mention the Prophet. So pretty balanced, versatile lineup here for LGD. How do we sort of stack EG up? They have Naga. She can go late. Rubik can be a great late game support. That, by the way, is being played by Bulba, not Demon this time around. But do EG want to take this late? Do they need a big lead? I mean, what's sort of the difference between these two lineups? What can we expect to see? How can we expect to see this game unfold? I mean, EG, they've got the huge initiation, the big, I guess, I mean, we've mentioned the one-word combo. That's what's going to come down to for them. And their laning itself is not too bad. They just have to make sure, for me, the key thing is not getting overwhelmed in the laning stage. I mean, you look at what LGD bring to the table with the CK Leshrak. It looks like Shadow Shaman is being played by... Who is Shadow Shaman? It is going to be support, I believe. DD is on him. It's Zhao 8 probably playing a solo Prophet. So I think this is LGD. They're going to run a safe lane trial lane and just use all those pulls to their advantage to get some farm, to get some XP. And Yao is actually looking to gear up for a solo mid Tidehunter, just based on his current 3 branches and tangos. So to me, EG, they want to make sure they basically lane this as well as possible based on what they can expect from LGD. If they don't get out lane too badly, then their levels kick in, then their big AoE initiation, their great combo can really start sort of setting up some big fights for them. Sure, LGD have a Tide Ravage, but you compare that to the Naga Siren Sleep, the Puck Initiation, a Black Hole, and Bulba. I mean, Rubik is just one of those heroes that can tear it up around sort of those sort of early team fights when your heroes are around the level 5 to level 10 mark. That's where Rubik really shines. So and that's going to be the key thing for EG for me. And let's bear in mind, the last time we saw Rubik against Tide, at least the last time I cast with you, that Ravage was stolen multiple times. Or maybe it was with Lumi, I cannot remember, but... Although you normally would think that Ravage cannot be stolen or won't be, it is very difficult to steal. Can't count that out, and of course, that's not what Rubik needs to succeed. It is going to be Tidehunter solo mid, that played by Yao. Sylar on the CK, and looks like they might do something offensive here as they start to rotate down. DDC with the early Observer Wards picked up. Xiao 8 going to be playing that Prophet, and he's going for a quick ring of Basilius. DD bought the Courier, And it looks like it will be a tri-lane, but maybe not the lane we expected as they're heading towards the bottom.
Yeah, it's Profit gearing up to go towards the top lane. I think this is just, I guess they're expecting Puck to be top, and Profit will actually do well against a Puck. He won't be able to push the Puck out of the lane, but he should be able to slightly outlast hit Puck, at least at the early levels. He's got the treants as well as the better right-click damage and just the better attack animation. So Profit should do well at top. And this is going to come down to this bottom lane. It's a tri-lane pretty much against a dual lane with the Enigma in jungle. Enigma can't really contribute much until he gets a few levels in. Good news for LGD is they scout out these lanes. They know what they're up against, and they're going to be able to prepare. And if they want to change the lanes around, now's the time to do it. But I think this is what they want. They know that now it's going to be a Puck versus Profit at top, and Profit can always be TPing in bottom. Mentioned in one of the last couple of games in the Tongfu EG series, Profit just being one of those heroes who can tip the scales really easily, and that's why he's such a strong solo hero.
Yeah, as far as our other lanes, it's going to be Yao in the middle lane up against Bulba. And, well, I mean, Tidehunter mid, especially with the quick bottle, he's not going to mind the harassment too much, although no stout shield for him for the moment. Bulba should have the edge overall, but Tidehunter does, as far as melee heroes go, he does very well because of that anchor smash spam, as well as the ability to just take away some of that damage with Kraken Shell. But here we go, it's maelk getting caught out. Oh no. Could be in some big trouble here. Nope, they back off, but they might find Universe instead. This is a level 1 Enigma, not really the best hero to fight this early on. Split Earth onto Fear, taking some damage. Not really good focus fire, the net going the other way. Universe is going to live, and it looks like DDC is about to get caught out. The net cooling down. 9 seconds to go. It does take a while here. In fact, DD getting caught too. The ward getting dropped in the middle of this chaos. And after it's all said and done, nobody dies, but a lot of blows being exchanged back and forth there.
Yeah, really engagement. Would have gone better for LGD if they hadn't. I mean, CK somewhat blew the stun. They thought they could catch the Enigma, but there was no. This follow-up stun was too far away. Almost working the way of LGD. EG, I feel a little bit lucky there. They didn't know Shadow Charm was invis, which is why they made a go of it, and they almost got caught out. But LGD, I feel they did more damage than they took there. They are going to chew through a lot of their mana. Shadow Shaman going for the Ether Shock level 1 just to maximize their damage. But they're going to come out on top, and this is going to basically force Fear into a position where he's not going to be able to get any farm at this bottom lane whatsoever.
By the way,
his build, he's gone for 2 Ring of Protections. I don't know if that's what you're about to point out, but 2 Ring of Protections.
That was exactly what I was about to point out.
Ring, and I guess Tranquil Boots and the Bassi Ring maybe, and then Ring of Aquila. I don't know, but this is unusual.
Might have been a mispurchase, but I mean, if there is a logical explanation, the Tranquil Boots and the Basilius, it's an option. The thing about Tranquil Boots is normally when we see players get them, it's sort of it's an intermediate measure. They don't stick on them. They get the Tranquil Boots, turn it later into something like a Vlad's, but I mean, for the moment, we'll have to see. It will give him a lot of armor. Not going to do too much against, well, the nuke damage coming out, which is significant, but will help in other respects. Still, it is very unorthodox. Over in the middle lane, Bulba doing a lot of harassment towards Yao. Yao already has his bottle, so he should be okay, but in comes the bottle from Bulba as well. Anchor Smash doing some harassment too. And by the way, look at what Xiao Wade is doing here. A little bit of backstab up top. Really making Demon unhappy.
He's being so aggressive and just using that Bassi Ring, using the plus armor on his creep wave, summoning treants, and just, I mean, right-clicking away on Demon. Demon's been put on the back foot very, very early and hasn't been able to get much farm. As a result, Profit's got plenty of for himself, so really nice start for Profit at top lane, although it looks like he is going to ease off the pressure for a moment, heal himself up a bit, get some more mana, and then probably make a go of it again. He's had good success so far. EG, I mean, as far as the lane stays goes, a bit of a struggle, but that's what you expect when there's an Enigma in the jungle and you're up against, I mean, LGD running a tri-lane as well as a very strong solo in Nature's Prophet with a bit of a mismatch for Puck.
Yeah, and I love the fact that Xiao's being so aggressive, but Demon going the other way now. Orbs in, does some harassment, and, well, we just see where Puck really struggles. That base damage, that attack animation, just so piddling. Even with perfect animation cancel, you just can't trade right clicks too effectively. Xiao gets 1, and it's as good as 2, especially with that rate of Basilius up on the Prophet. Still, Demon has his bottle on the way. I believe that is on the Kurt. It is, and that will help him quite a bit. May need to ferry that a few times, but that should be something he's able to do. Bulba has a decent shot at controlling these runes in the middle lane, especially with Enigma able to provide some help.
Yeah, and I think for the most part, LG are going to be pretty happy with this early start here. They would have liked to get that first blood a bit earlier on at bottom, but they've got Chaos Knight, 15 creep kills, Boots, Warned. He's got his core. I mean, his early game items up. Tied at mid's doing all right. He's being slightly out-farmed by Bulba on the Rubik, but he's getting the levels. He's getting some farm for his needs. And then top lane, going pretty well for the Nature's Prophet. The thing is, for me, the big thing is, when does Nature's Prophet come to one of these other lanes to help gank, or is he just going to stay top and just keep on looking to sort of basically control the lane against this puck and just basically free farm, similar to what we saw him do. You mentioned Zhao 8's Prophet last time against the winner, where he just won the lane. He may just keep doing the same against this puck, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, that being said, this tri-lane has so much kill potential, even as low level as they are, which, by the way, level 2 Chaos Knight, 2 Shadow Shaman, 2 on the Leshrac. They are a bit behind here in terms of levels. When you look at Naga with that level 2 Riptide, already hitting 4. A bit of a skirmish over the Rune. No, Bulba's just going to man down and let Yao grab that one. He did have the better angle on it. But yeah, this lane is so strong offensively that I wouldn't be surprised at all if Xiao did leave the lane. Still, if he wants to pressure top, I mean, with the Treants, this is just great play by Prophet. Not getting any kills, but winning the lane in terms of farm, leading the board in fact, and pressuring that tower. Really putting Demon on the back foot.
Yep, and for the moment, it's going to be maelk swinging towards the bottom lane. So this is where EG want to strike. They've got, I mean, a level 4 Enigma. He's got mana for a conversion, as well as a level 2 Malefice. So if LGD overextended bottom lane, maelk is going to be there, ready to punish them. They're actually going to make a go of it. They do Disruption, followed up by an Ensnare. They want DD. He is backing off enough. Soulcatcher as well. DD taking a lot of damage. First Blood goes EG's way. They do lose maelk in the process, and they may lose more as Prophet's TP bot. Zhao 8's there. With an ultimate. Cleaning up like maximum damage there. Finding Universe and Fear. Looks like he's going to drop as well. Leshrac somehow surviving on about 10 HP there. And Fear going to go down. There's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Leshrac picks himself up a kill. 3-1 LGD's favorite. Did take Prophet TP there, but that's definitely worth it, although they lost the first blood.
And Gods, we're on our way to a 7-minute mechanism here. Buckler and Headdress already picked up. Guys, don't be surprised at all if he goes right back for Hand of Midas after this. But that early left point in the ultimate, even only 1 point TP, he can show up at any time and just turn these fights. I mean, already we see, this is one of the downsides to running dual or tri-lanes. I mean, not that EG's really running a tri-lane, but you know, just having those underleveled heroes, the Prophet comes in with the big ultimate, like you said, doing absolutely maximum damage. That was insane. Maybe 200, 300 on each hero, and I mean, it just turns the fight. There's nothing, I don't really feel EG made any mistakes, except maybe the decision to fight at all, but, you know, you want this Enigma to do something. You don't just want him to sit in the jungle and farm all day, but maybe that would be the better option right now.
I mean, they got the first blood. That was the one redeeming factor for them. And the next time a fight like that breaks out, I imagine we'll see Puck coming in. Puck's now got his level 6. That did create some space for Puck to get some levels. Sure, it's a 3-1 kill trade for LGD, but EG get the first blood, and they also get space for Puck at top lane to get his level 6 safely and just relieve some of that pressure on himself. So I feel for EG, they made an okay trade there. It was in LGD's favor. I mean, we are going to be seeing that 6-7 minute mech up on this Prophet. And Prophet, I mean, he's not done at top lane. So EG's still in the back foot, but that was a decent-ish trade for them.
I mean, this is just Xiao just all over the map. And with that early buckler, you can just spam it, giving a bunch of armor to your creeps, allowing you to push really aggressively. And we see bottom lane, there's a pull, but actually just being sort of denied here by LGD. So EG kind of helping them out in the end. Xiao gonna get this tower. It's going down. The glyph was already used. And he gets the last hit. 1,300 gold in the bank. There's your mech and your gloves of haste. Not far off that Midas, if that's the route he goes. Of course, he could go for more aggressive early game items. The medallion, the urn, maybe even power treads. But maybe we'll see boots and then the Midas. You know, it's just something he really favors. Getting that early utility, but then making sure he could be a threat in the mid to late game. Oh, and they go bottom lane. Sylar taking some big damage to the Prophet ult again! But here comes Puck. Demon with the counter initiation. That early game mech just turning the tides. EG was not ready for that one at all. DDC has the set. One Sphere missing pretty wildly there. Demon should get away as well. And I hear a Ravage only for maelk, but Yao is going to catch him out and bring him down with one more right click. No mana, no gush. Anchor Smash will not be enraged. No, he's going to miss. Where's that Prophet? We'll have to see as Puck jukes away. Disrupted by Universe. Soul Catcher as well. No Purge just yet. There's your Malefice. Big play for maelk. Pretty bold play, I have to say. In the end, Demon still on the run. How has he not died or gotten a kill just yet? I don't know. 1 second stun. Demon able to orb away. He will do just that. Is he going to make it to the higher? No, he's locked in place. He will go down. And God's Xiao 8's Prophet. I mean, that is the story of this game so far.
It's the story of every game I see LGD get profit. It's insane. That mech. I mean, Shadow Shaman lived on about 50 HP, and that was after the mech healing him up. I mean, he was going down for sure, it looked like, but that mech comes in out of nowhere at such an early point in the game, healing up all the damage the Naga Siren Riptide did, and LGD just turned things around. I mean, they were the ones being the aggressors, but as soon as Puck TPs and it wasn't looking good for them, we are going to see Bulba being a bit aggressive at mid. Yow. Getting very low. Bulba decides to back off as DDC was TPing in, but so far, great backup from LGD all around. Profit always ready to TP bottom, Leshrac TPing mid, and that just sums up LGD. It's all about supporting one another. It's all about the team aspect. It's never a one-man show. I mean, with DK, it's always about getting Burning Farm. LGD, they've got a great carry play in Silent, but by no means is it always building around getting him as farmed as possible. They'll play the game fully in sort of a team sort of setup where it's not 4 protect 1.
Speaking of Sylar, it's only 280 gold per minute, but this is the beauty of Phaosite. Power treads up, Bracer up, not too far off that drum if that's the route he wants to take. Sometimes we see a BKB rush at this point, or even a quick armlet, but whatever Sylar wants, I mean, he doesn't need a whole lot of gold to get there. Chow8, by the way, 480 gold per minute on him, and here we go, the big team fight, gods. The Naga sleep to start, maelk coming in for the black hole, he gets them all to sleep, cancel them out, a split second late, everybody dropping low, no mech use, 2, 3 dead, oh, in an instant, and now they're not done. A big miss there on the stun again, buyback in from the Shadow Shaman, no buyback on this Prophet. Chow8 would love to do it to maybe turn things around, but that is the potential of EG's lineup, that massive team fight.
Oh yeah, that's the Naga Siren ultimate. That is what you just have to look out for. And that LGD, I have a feeling next time they won't be as grouped up when they're pushing. Even when, I mean, Naga Siren, it wasn't obvious that Enigma was anywhere nearby. Obviously, Enigma doesn't blink yet, but from now on, LG, I feel they've learnt their lesson, and that was a very painful lesson. EG get themselves 3 kills, but now LGD just bounce right back because we're so early on in the game. I mean, LGD, they just kind of say, okay, well, we'll just go at it once again. You guys get 3 kills. We're going to make sure we get a tower. No Naga Siren ultimate, no Black Hole, and LGD, I think they're going to go for a second tower as well. I mean, this is Profit with maxed out treants. They've got the Tide Ravage. They've got Edict. They don't have the Surf Mods yet, but this pushing potential is very, very scary. And without those ultimates, EG can't fight. And I feel that's the real setback of their lineup, is they can only fight every 3 minutes when they have the Siren and Enigma ultimates. Otherwise, they really struggle.
Right, I mean, maybe once Naga gets leveled up, that ult does go down dramatically, down to a minute. Initiation on the middle lane, Bulba, 1 second stun on him. Has a little bit of mana left, not a whole lot, and he's going to force him back. In comes Chow8. Well, that's one way to end the push, is to go for the kills mid instead, and, well, now they're going to pressure mid. They may just want to knock down this tier 1, is a lot easier to achieve, and also, I would say more important, as it gives you just so much more access into the jungle and from the mid lane over to the side lane. Also, DD, like you said, doesn't have the Serpent Wards yet, but once he does, that's really going to amp up the pressure. I mean, it's not even just about the pushing ability. That's a lot of damage in a team fight, and we'll have to see if Bulba can steal them. Demon stole Serpent Wards at least once or twice the last series, and they made a big difference. But for the moment, they're not up to this yet.
Mid lane. Shadow Demon keeping Rubik out of trouble there with a defensive disruption. It looks like LGD is going to get themselves a tower. Not overcommit for too many kills here and be too aggressive, but they'll just back things off now. They're taking all the tier 1 towers. They can, if they really want, they can even go for Roshan here, I feel. They can just slip that in. They've got the Treants, they've got the Edict, they've got plenty of damage. They're just going to look to farm the lanes, push them out. But then I feel once an opportunity raises, if they can't go for a tier 2 tower, they'll just quite happily get that free Aegis, get basically the tower-like gold that you get from Roshan, just keep on getting slightly further and further ahead here.
Well, that is a very scary proposition. Naga ult about to be back up. Still 40 minutes off the black hole. By the way, Sylar taking a lot of damage. Ravage keeping him alive as well as the wand pop, and it's going to go the other way. maelk takes the fall. Bulba as well. Double kill for Chow8. There's your Hand of Midas and 300 gold on top of it. Arcane Boot's going to keep this push going. And I mean, if they want to go for Roshan, this is a perfect opening.
Oh yeah, this is definitely one now, though Nature's Prophet, he's got enough money, he can go for this now. He has bought his Midas. I think he wants to use his Midas first, and then TP to Roshan. Get that cooldown rolling as soon as possible. And,
bottom lane.
True to the stereotype of the Chinese players wanting to farm. Fear is, he's going to TP out here. I don't think the sun's going to come in time. And
great prediction, but yeah, just not in time. That was close. Well, here's what happened during that time. DD got level 6, so our arcane boots on him as well in 4 gold, and that's what he's waiting for. And multiple arcane boots on this team is just so important. Really helps out the CK, really helps out the Tidehunter as well, who we see quite low in mana repeatedly. Will Shrek too, so I love these item decisions LGD is making, the quick mech back into the Midas, the earlier Arcane Boots. And I'm just, for EG, the items are a bit behind for them. I'm just not seeing it right now. Are there any big pickups? We see a lot of utility items on Fear, but nothing that's going to help the team.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. I mean, yeah, and you can often tell which team's struggling by just looking at the supports, and it's Shadow Demon, who's just bought his boots not long ago, whereas if you look at LGD, Shadow Shaman with Arcane Boots, buying some wards now as well, and Leshrak with Bracer Boots, 800 gold, actually buys a completed Magic Wand, so we'll see him. Actually, no, he sells. That was a mistake. The second one. He's probably just going to pick up a couple braces here, unless he wants to save up for a point booster and really go for a big item like a Bloodstone. But for the most part, LGD, their supports are getting some just cheap, tanky items, which is what you need when you're going for this sort of strong mid-game push and team fight, which they've got a great amount of pushing power coming out now that they've got the Serpent Wards coming into play.
By the way, godz, Xiaowei preps for Roshan, drops the ultimate, not even for a team fight, just to push the waves out. Also buys a medallion, and you were completely right. Here we go, Triant's medallion, Gush minus armor 2. Roshan's gonna melt real quickly. Edict is back as well. Oh, look at how fast he's dropping. These guys have no damage item, just the minus armor, the summons, doing the heavy lifting here. And, I mean, there's no chance for EG to react. maelk starts to place a ward, but by then, it's too late. Wow. Yeah. Great play by LGD.
And I think I mean, even if EG know, like as soon as they sort of start walking there, even if EG know, they just can't react in time. I mean, they've got Puck at top, they've got Hero Split around the map to group up and get yourselves in a position where you can contest it. And even if you can contest it, you're contesting against a Tide Ravage. There's Serpent Wards in the Roach Pit as well. There's not really any way you can just go walking in there, so it's always going to go LGD's way. I think EG,
Bulba.
The best decision was just to back off there and try farm the lanes.
Bulba gets caught out mid, 4-second stun for good measure. He will take a fall. And I mean, this is just a tough game for Bulba. There's so much initiation on LGD, and it's just hard for him to stay alive in these fights. Certainly didn't help there. The Tidehunter had an invis rune, and was able to just sort of meander around, go for the backstab, and Tidehunter going for a pipe. Sylar drums are up, and the Aegis onto him. Interesting they did not put in Xiaowei, but of course he can always buy back, so that makes a bit of sense. And, well, LGD are looking for this tier 2 mid. This is a really big tower to claim, especially this early. And what can EG do? They do have that big team fight. Are they going to go in? Fear perched on the high ground. He wants to initiate, just waiting for the positioning here. LGD might be caught unawares. There's the sleep, catching 4 out of 5. I think it might have caught everybody, actually. Black Hole only going to hit 2. Where's the Black Hole? Only gets Sylar, actually gets Yao as well. 2 heroes immediately canceled by Splitter. Ravage on everybody. Oh, maelk taking a lot of damage. maelk's going to die instantly. Prophet ult, double kill for Xiaowei. Absolutely playing out of his mind. A Demon will be able to just get out of there for the moment, but they pull Fear back in. They're going to go on him, another 4-second stun. And the nuke from Shadow Shaman. They get another kill, and godz, no hesitation. Straight to the high ground for LGD. Wards are dropped. Treants as well, and I'm just not sure what EG have left in the tank. 15 minutes in, crazy to say it, but I think it's true.
Oh man, LGD just playing so sick right now. I mean, this strategy and this execution has just been absolutely flawless from them. I mean, there was a great EG. I mean, the only thing that's gone EG's way was a perfectly executed wombo combo with the Naga, Siren, and Enigma ultimate. You can see there, LGD positioned themselves, so sure, Fear can go in, sleep all the heroes, but the Black Hole was only ever going to catch 2, maybe 3 heroes. There was never an opening to catch the entire LGD team, and as a result, it wasn't going to be possible to get that big Black Hole off for more than a second or so. And I mean, EG, even with the Black Hole, they just don't have the damage at this point to out DPS the mech and just pure survivability that most of these LGD heroes have.
There's still really no item progression on this team. Bulba soloed mid. He was up against the Tide and Phase Boots, Bottle Wand. No Force Staff, no Ghost Scepter, no Yules. I mean, no real utility on him. No Blink Dagger as well. I look at the same for maelk. Still working on a mech about 10 minutes after the Prophet acquired his. Very late timing for him. Shadow Demon, we talked about him. Just the boots. So there's no item progression for EG. And, you know, this is what happens when you fall behind early to a Prophet. All your lanes are pushed. There's ganks coming left and right. And it's just very difficult to find that time to farm.
Yeah, and I mean, Xiaowei, I mean, it's not as if he's even going for these big items right now. He's just picked up Treads. You mentioned Medallion to help the tank take Roshan. He's now just got Treads, just going for boosting up his HP, boosting up his survivability. And as a result, it's just going to get really, really slippery for EG, who are, I mean, they're falling already. It's going to be mech soon up for Enigma. 300 gold away from that. Fear's had some decent farm. Actually, what has he picked up? He's picked up a Vitality booster, so really just trying to tank up however possible. And that's pretty much sums up EG right now. They're struggling to get those sort of early core items. I mean, Vitality Booster on Fear. Bulba's almost got his 4-staff. This is 18 minutes in, and I mean, he's going for a first item 4-staff, and it's not yet finished.
Yeah, he's just so far behind. And, well, I think the big item that they're about to get is Demon's Blink Dagger. That could make a difference. So blink into a silence. That's where you can look to set things up, and now you don't rely on that Naga to initiate, which is a little bit predictable, to be honest. Like you said, LGD, they'll fall for it once, they're not going to fall for it twice. But with this Blink Silence coming out of the woodwork, and maybe something LGD won't expect, then you can use the Naga as a follow-up disable, or maybe just an escape mechanism if things go south. So I like the fact that Demon's got the Blink Dagger. It gives EG an opening, but here's my concern is, I think even if this game goes late, LGD don't get Rex for a while. They have the better late game lineup, especially with EG not having the great start. At the very least, they're even, and they are way ahead in terms of gold and experience. Don't really have to force the issue, I feel, but they're going to. They're all down mid. DD with that 4-stat. He talked about the big farm and the supports, and boy, we are seeing it.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the mech pipe, they've got their support. I mean, 4-staff on DD, like you say. Leshrac with his point booster now, he's getting up to 1k HP, and Sylar with the Aegis, just going to be in the front lines, just basically right-clicking away at this Rax. He's not worried about getting initiated on, and at the moment, EG are just trying to find some way of going in, and I don't know how they're going to do it. I mean, they've got the ultis, but even with the Siren, Enigma, and Puck ultis, they still can't go in.
It's the pipe, the mech, I mean, so what? You have to kill the Prophet and the Tide, or those items are going to turn this around, and LGD smokes up, head towards bottom. They have this initiation potentially from Yao. Fear is going to be forced back for the moment. He's sticking around. He wants to try and bait some TPs out. That was just a Rax forfeited by a team fight lineup. I mean, this is an ideal lineup to go to defend the high ground gods, and they just gave it away. It's just the crushing item advantage. AG just can't take a fight, and they know it.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel that they're making the right decision not to fight, knowing that if they go in there, it's pretty much sealing their own fate, so they're trying to catch up. They are going to find a little pick off at top lane. Xiaowei in a bit of trouble here, whether or not if they can get this kill, that will help them out a bit. He's right by a tower, so TP support not far off. Maelk can be looking for a black hole, catches 2, gets the kill on Nature's Prophet, who immediately buys back Sylar. He's got the Aegis though, even if he goes down, he's going to be right back, and Nature's Prophet TPing in. I feel this is not a one fight yet for EG. They've only taken the Nature's Prophet, and there's your Song of the Siren. They're probably going to use this to retreat, I feel. Fear trying to get out. No, they're going to turn around. What have they got? There's no Enigma ultimate. There's no Puck ultimate. This could be a bit of a mistake, though. They are going to focus down Leshrac. Nice focus fire from EG. Nature's Prophet still alive and kicking. And there's the Tide ulti. Yao goes in. Big ulti. CK right-click damage. Only a 1-for-1 trade in the aftermath. And it looks like Heroes, most of EG, going to manage to escape. Shadow Demon TPs. And so does Rubik. So they get out of there with the kill on Nature's Prophet, with the kill on Leshrac, and they get the Aegis. So a win for EG, even if it is just a small one.
Yeah, now here, I just want to point out, great play by Yao there. Ravage instantly gets off the anchor smash. Bulba was hiding behind the tree line, actually tried to steal that Ravage. Within, I want to say like a quarter of a second of the spell being cast, but it just wasn't in time. I mean, great reaction by Yao, even with the delay. We are playing with a bit of ping for him. He still gets the Ravage off and the Anchor Smash, so I mean that would have been a huge steal for Bulba, getting Ravage. That's something LGD probably would not have anticipated. Could be a game changer, but unfortunately for them, they don't. And now bottom lane, they won Demon. Very difficult to lock down a Puck with a Blink Dagger. They're going to try. He will TP out. But although they win that fight, gods, tier 2 top dice, tier 2 bottom takes a lot of damage, and it still feels like that noose is tightening.
Yep, no, I have to agree there, and I think it just shows. I feel LGD, they're not even worried about Rubik taking the Tide Ravage. It's just one of those things. They third-picked Tide directly after Rubik was picked, just knowing that he'd never get a chance to steal the Ravage. It's not really a practical application of Rubik just because of how easy it is. Ravage, and then you immediately Anchor Smash. And I mean, unless Rubik has a BKB and doesn't actually get hit by the Ravage, there's no opportunity for him to take it. So LGD just feeling so confident now, and rightfully so. They're going to get the last outer tower here. They can wait for Roshan to respawn, which is going to be up in 2 minutes, or they can go for another set of racks, go high ground with the Serpent Wards in about 25 seconds. But I feel there's no real need to. You mentioned that late game, they're either better or on par with EG as far as late game potential goes. So I feel they'll sit back a bit, they'll get some more farm, and they'll take Roshan when it's available.
Well, if they want to go late game, this Aghanims will certainly help out. Xiaowei going to be able to keep all those lanes pushed in. Also going to, with the Midas, he's going to get towards 16 very quickly. Not that far off from it now, and that's a big pickup, because then the ultimate does more damage, has more bounces. And it's also on a 1 minute cooldown. That just makes it almost impossible to leave your base, especially with that early melee Rex being down mid, the lane constantly pushing in. We'll have to see. I mean, what do you do now if you're LGD? Do you go for a smoke gank? Do you just try and farm? Do you just hope for LGD to make a mistake? Fear has 4k, so I mean, if he wants the heart, if he wants a Radiance, a Diffusal Blade, whatever he'd like to buy, he's not far off from it.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be... I mean, he's got the Vitality boost. He doesn't have to buy the full heart. I think he might just go for the Radiance here. And it does look like he sells his branch. He's got 3.8k gold in just a second. So it's going to be a Radiance build from him. I think this is an alright decision. You need something. You can send the Illusions out. You can use the Riptide with the Radiance damage to push out lanes. It does give him more DPS in these team fights. And I think he decides if he goes for the heart, it's basically, I mean, sealing their own fate. It's just another way where you're accepting your own defeat. You're not going to be able to defend or do enough damage with that. So he's going to have to play a riskier build where he's squishier, but can at least do the damage, maybe give EG some possibility of winning a team fight.
Yeah, goes for the damage, and that is something EG lacks, is that follow-up damage. They don't really have another hero that does big right-clicks. They're very reliant on that. It's not even like they have a Leshrac where they get a lot of burst damage through spells. I mean, they have that initial burst with the big AoE combo, but there's no follow-up. There's no... It's not like they have an Edict with Pulse Nova, even a Pug of spamming Nether Blast. This is kind of a one-shot deal for almost every hero on the team. Rubik might be the one exception, especially with Anchor Smash, although you really don't want to be in the front lines as Rubik, especially now with 700 or 900 health. So, into the pit, LGD go again, but this time there's a smoke from EG. Was under a ward here. Oh, LGD are going to be fully prepared. They disperse immediately. Roshan is not low. Pretty big mistake there by EG not to deward before smoking, although that might have clued LGD in. Now they're in the Roshan pit, hoping LGD comes back. This is a great little stand-up we're having right now. Bulba goes high ground and only finds the Tidehunter illusion. The silence as well as telekinesis used. And LGD maybe going to look to turn this around. Stun on the demon. Gush not going to hit. Phase shifting out. Blink away. Ravage available. Prophet ult bounce through. Does a bit of damage. Not that much, to be honest. Are they going to go back in the pit? It's hard to say. They could just wait for this mid lane to push in, so maybe that's what we'll see them do.
Well, I think they're also waiting for top lane, where Zhao Wei is currently putting on some momentum. He's going to try to force some heroes back. Now they do have another go at the Roshan pit, and they see EG mid. EG, they basically accepted the fate that this next push LGD are going to be doing, it's going to be with an Aegis, and they're just going to focus their efforts on getting their next line of items up before that push happens. maelk, not really much hope of a BKB. He's only about halfway there. Naga Siren, though, they need that Radiance, and that's why EG don't want to fight yet. They're about 400 gold off from that. So EG just going to buy themselves some time. Try get a tower hero there, like this top or bottom tier 1 tower, but there's just no openings for them. I mean, Demon, he's going to start pushing away at this top lane, but LGD, they're grouped up at bottom, and this looks like they just want to push.
Well, Radiance almost up on Fear, but really, how much is the Radiance going to do? All the supports are incredibly tanky right now. Yao with the... already having the pipe completed. DD, even he's got 1000 HP. Sylar 1700. Leshrac with a Bloodstone and a Bracer. I mean, there's nobody who's really going to care about this Radiance burn. It will help push out the creep waves in those lanes where the big fight is not coming. But, this is a big but. EG cannot just let LGD come into the base. Sure, you defend the top, you defend the mid. That's nice. You're still in danger of losing Rax if you can't win a fight bottom, and godz, that fight's about to break out. TPM from Prophet. Let's see, what does he have? Aghanim's picked up. 1200 gold in the bank, so crucially, he does have the buyback if he needs it. And that could be something we'll see making a big difference here.
Yep, and Pipe's going to get popped right off the bat here, and that's just sort of a bit of a deterrent. I mean, the Naga Sign illusions with the Radiance won't do much damage, and any combo coming in is going to have to wait out, as it looks like LGD not going to fully commit to this. They're just trying to use those Serpent Wards to chip away at the tower here, try to force out a preemptive Naga Siren Song of the Siren, and just, I mean, basically if they waste the sleep where LGD aren't in position where you can hit multiple heroes with a Black Hole, it's not going to go well for EG, so they have to really wait for the perfect opportunity before they use any of those big AoE spells.
Well, if LGD wants to slow roll this, it still looks pretty good for them. Top lane is pushing in a bit. It's not a massive wave, though, so the tower may take some damage. It won't go down. And it's one of the problems you face with EG's lineup as well. They don't have a hero like Morphling or Anti-Mage or Prophet either, where you can just send that hero top, play that sort of DK style of Dota like they do with Burning, where he just gets that split push going, and that's when the team that wants to go high ground is forced back. EG lacks that option. Puck can try and do it, but he's just too important to their team fight to show up late. You need a good silence, you need a good Dream Coil. So, I feel like this is a good, it's a great strategy by LGD, but it's especially effective because it's tailored to the lineup they're facing. it would not work nearly as well if there was that split pushing option available for EG.
Yeah, and we'll see how where LGD want to go with this. They are going to currently just have Xiaowei continuing to farm away at top lane. He's going to get caught up by Fear here. Ensnare going to just slow down that TP, but you can still cast the TP while ensnared, so Xiaowei does get himself home, and he's level 16 now with an Ag Scepter. That ulti is going to really be painful, and we'll see if EG, whether or not they can hold this next push coming in. The bottom tier 3 tower only getting taken down to half HP. But I have a feeling this next push, I mean, with LGD picking up their next line of items now, getting their next levels, Shadow Shaman about to have a level 2 ulti, a few other key levels and key items coming up soon as well. It's going to be even harder for EG to defend every push that comes.
And I do like the fact that DD has picked up a gem here. EG already have very limited vision, only the single ward up on the hill, as well as the sentry ward, but that doesn't really give you any vision. And the gem is just going to make it impossible for them to have any map control. It's something the Chinese teams are very good about. Getting that quick gem when you have the map control and you have the advantage, and using it to make it an even bigger lead. Well, Fear's going to try for the split push as he's grouped up top with his illusions. Maybe going to make it go on Xiao 8, but I don't think he's going to be able to kill him. And of course, remember, Xiao 8 can join this fight for free at any time. Riptide doing some obnoxious harassment, but Xiao 8 doesn't care too much.
Oh yeah, and he's going to join up his team with bottom net lane, so TPing bottom, it looks like they do in fact want to push. Xiao 8's already taken a bit of damage, but mentioned earlier, he's got the buyback, and the hero can TP right back into the middle of the fight. It's going to be a great asset here. Nature's Prophet pops the ultimate. This is going to hurt. Bulba goes down to below half HP. That was about 500, 600 damage just from a Nature's Prophet ultimate. And now EG going to have to struggle to defend this. Can they do it? Dreamcore just being popped somewhat preemptively. BKB from Sylar, and EG just unable to engage. There's your song of the Siren. Is this even going to be enough, LD? It really doesn't look like it.
Oh, Demonic Purge on the Sylar, but remember, he's got the Aegis, and no, I don't think it will be enough, even with the Black Hole opening, because Sylar had the BKB. If they go in, Sylar's just going to avoid that Black Hole and then stun him, so they can't get the Black Hole off, even though 4 heroes were grouped up, gods. And, well, now they're going to lose a second lane of Brack. Demon had a good Dream Coil as well on 3 heroes. The Sleep followed up shortly thereafter. And EG, they're looking to maybe go in, but the damage is done. It's too late. Mid lane pushing it as well. LGD are just not making any mistakes, and, you know, this team, give them a slight lead, and they, especially with this lineup, and the lineup they're up against, and they're just going to take a massive advantage out of that slight lead.
Oh yeah, I think that's really where LG specialize. If they get ahead, if they get that strong early game, then they just continually pull away. I mean, last night I think it was against Zenith in its Ghostly Monthly Madness. They lost the finals 3-0, but none of those games they ever really had a bit of a hold on. It's one of those things where they're a team who do, I wouldn't say they rely heavily on getting ahead early, but if they do get ahead early, they absolutely walk away with it. They do have the potential to cause comebacks and just use their team play in the mid to late game, but generally, if they have a strong early game, it's cruise control for them, and that's what we're seeing here against EG.
Yeah, very disciplined play overall, from the warding to the early gem pickup, the item selection, the coordination by this team. I mean, we often see teams with that kind of lead that they've had go for an early Roshan, but it was just so methodical. The Prophet immediately buys the medallion, uses the ultimate to push the lanes out, and then goes in, and the whole team was already grouped up, getting ready for it. Coming in for mid, coming in for bottom, even before the Roche started. So just the level of coordination, the level of team play here, and every aspect of their play is just, all these little things make it so much easier to preserve a lead. Whereas if you're a team that's sloppy or aggressive or indecisive, maybe have multiple leaders or people making calls, that's where it can be hard to find these kinds of openings. But, you know, when you're so methodical, it really does make life easier when you're ahead. And well, now they're going to push top, going for the win here. No Aegis. Actually, no, sorry, they do have the Aegis still. So, it's going to be real tough.
Still the Aegis. I mean, the Ravager's back up. All the ultimates for LGD. They are missing the Phantasm for another 10 seconds, and here we go. We're going to see Puck try and make a go of it in the front lines. Fear as well, taking a lot of damage. He needs to pop that ultimate. He's not going to get it off, I don't think. Defensive disruption. Actually, it does give him the chance. He goes down anyway. The BKB on Sylar. So, Song of the Siren immediately cancelled. And the top, the tier 3 tower is gone. The Raxes are exposed. Naga Siren buys back. But this is going to be a Rax in the top lane. Raxes from all 3 lanes going to be gone. Not going to be quite mega creeps if they do get this. Actually, no, EG, they're going to push it back for now. But I feel, I mean, they're not really making any headway. Even if they hold things off, they're not getting killed. They're not pushing out their lanes. And it's just going to be a slow and painful death for them.
Even after maelk uses that mech, by the way, drops down to 600 health, so he was at about a third of his HP, maybe even a quarter before using the mech, and in they go. They want fear. Remember, no sound of the siren here, no setup for that black hole, no blink dagger either, and LGD are just gonna muscle down the racks. Bulba, nice 4-second stun. Ravage, not the best Ravage, but wasn't stolen. It doesn't look like Bulba got the Ravage. He got it. There you go. Ravage the other way. 4 heroes, but, and this is a big but, no follow-up. Sylar comes back to life. Gonna look to get another kill here. Fear absolutely running for his own. And Puck's gonna take a fall. Final Rex goes down. maelk calls the GG. And Mega creeps in 33 minutes, but this one, it felt like it might have been over at 8, maybe even 15. Bulba gets a couple more kills, just trying to pad those stats before it's all said and done, but gets pulled back in. Sylar brings him down, and, well, a bit of an M5 GG here. The GGs are called, but aggressive buybacks. Not actually gonna let this one end in that fight.
Well, the Mega Creeps are there, and there's no potential for comeback. But I got to say, this came down to Xiao Wei just putting on a clinic for this Nature's Prophet. Played as a solo hero, and really great play from him. And all around LGD, I mean, they just executed their strategy, got the mech and pipe, went for the pushes when they needed to, backed off when they felt like they were in a bad position, got the roaches when they were up. And all in all, it was just a very, very strong performance from all 5 of them.
Yeah, we start to see our first few disconnects, and both teams mentioning lag, but of course the Chinese players are heavy, even more lag than EG, despite EG being in Europe. It does have a bit worse of a connection to the US West. So, there's lag, but it kind of balances out. I mean, of course we'd love to see this tournament being played on LAN, but unfortunately it's just not feasible for the players of the tournament. Nonetheless, we've had some fantastic games, and I mean, lag matters for some of those big plays, those hectic team fights, but ultimately most games of Dota, to me, are not decided by those team fights. They're often decided in the drafting stage, even just the very early laning decisions, and this was definitely one of those games. The lanes were better for LGD, the strategy was just better, and it certainly matched up well against how EG wanted to play. I don't think lag played much of a factor in this one.
Absolutely, especially Demon. He's looking at the pings. He's got the same ping as he gets to the Europe server where he plays in the European tournaments from US West. He's only sitting on around a bit over 200. So, I agree there is some lag, but I think it's something that most of these players have had to deal with in other tournaments and other situations. But it is going to be a Game 1 win for LGD, despite the fact it's LGD's throne going down. But a great all-around game and performance. Really, I mean, LGD just time and time again. Whenever I've seen them, they've looked damn scary. The only team who seemed to be able to win consistently against them has been Zenith. They did lose that first finals in the GDM against them, but that was a 2-2 win, not really a game where they won more against Zenith. So it was recently falling to Zenith. But apart from that, LGD are sort of never faltering. They haven't missed a step, and continuing that here against EG.
The good news for us as casters and you guys as viewers is this is only game number 1. It is a best out of 3. So ladies and gentlemen, do not go anywhere. Game number 2, EG versus LGD, coming your way momentarily. I am LD, he is godz, and you are watching Beyond the Summits World Tour.